All right, good morning and welcome to this week's Whiteboard Wednesday. Today we're going to discuss business listing management and how companies' information is distributed across several different directories like Google, Bing, Yahoo, Superpages, Manta, Hotfrog, and the list goes on and on. And we're also going to discuss why that is important. If you're a company and you offer a service in a particular location, people are going to Google that type of service, and you want your company information readily available with your name, address, phone number, all your business details accessible in Google search and across a lot of the other directories. Oftentimes we'll abbreviate this and call it NAP, and NAP stands for name, address, phone, and those are the crucial details that every business should have accurately listed across all the directories. And so when you have your name, address, phone number listed on your website or your Facebook page or Google or any of these directories, it's really important that your name is formatted exactly the same way across all the directories. So if you have your company name and you're incorporated and you spell it out and you have comma, inc, period, you want to make sure that that same format is distributed across all the directories exactly like that. Same thing with your address. The key to the address is oftentimes people will have a suite number or something like that, and maybe they'll spell out street in one location and they'll abbreviate it in another location. These are robots evaluating these directories, and they're going to get confused. And if Google's trying to figure out if this is the same business and you're spelling out street in one and abbreviating it in another one, you have a suite number on another one, they're not absolutely sure if this is the same business. So the trick to making sure that your address is formatted correctly is what we do is we take that address and shove it into Google search and see how Google formats it. And you'll notice that they like it a particular way. They abbreviate street and they don't put a dot on the end of it. Suite numbers, they'll put STE. They don't spell out the word suite. So we like to conform to Google standards. So what we do is we'll take that address, shove it in Google, see how they format it, and then we commit to that format. And that's the address that we're going to publish on the website and across all the other directories. Same thing with your phone number. You want to make sure that it is your main line and that phone number is being distributed across all the directories. Oftentimes you'll get some advertising companies where they'll do call tracking and things like that, and that can really mess with your directories if you have these call tracking numbers floating around out there. Again, it just confuses the search engines, and they're unsure if that's truly the same business. So these three key ones right here, name, address, phone number, are the most important to have consistently formatted, accurately displayed across your website, all the top directories. Going further than that, you really want your business directories to include as much information as possible. It's just like having a landing page or something like that. You want it to be the best it can possibly be. If you're competing against another heating and air conditioning company and you got yours out there, you want yours to have more information than the next guy's, and that's just going to look better. So you want to have your web address is real key. That actually gets a link back to your website, can count as link building as well. Your hours are really important. That can be frustrating if you have seasonal hours for a museum or something like that, and people are looking on Google and it says closed, and you're like, oh, it's our summer hours, we're open for another 2 hours, and you're losing 2 hours of business. You want to make sure that's accurately updated, not just in Google but across all the directories. You got email, description of your business, your logo, business photos, year established, your social media links. So you want to complete your profiles as much as possible. Give Google all the information you possibly can. The way Google evaluates how to show up in Google Maps, what they're doing is they're actually looking at the top 70 directories and beyond and really identifying, is this business represented out there across all the other directories, and is that format consistent? And the more directories you're listed on and having that real consistent formatting, they're going to give you a little bit better ranking in Google Maps. So some of these directories you've never even heard of, whether it's Dex Nose or Brown Book Mojo pages, you've never even heard of them. You'll probably never in your life go to them to look up business information. But Google's looking at them, so it's important. And the trick to this is if you were to go out and try to list your business across all of these locations manually, that would be pretty painful. You have to not only go out, locate, see if there's a listing that's already been published on there and claim it, maybe by phone verification or email verification. You have to prove it's truly your business before you can even make the update. And that's just one directory. You got to do it to all of these. And this is just the top 70. There's hundreds of business listing directories. And the challenging part is by the time you work your way through and get some of these updated, there's several aggregators amongst these top directories. And what they do is they collect information and they push it out to a lot of the other directories. So if you move your business or you want to just get listed in there, by the time you work your way around and claim these listings and put your information in accurately, this aggregator has already come over and made a duplicate listing or overwritten your information. And it's just an endless cycle. You can't keep up with it. It's virtually impossible to manually go update your business information across this local search ecosystem here. So the tools that we recommend is, number one, Google My Business. You got to be listed in Google accurately. But there's other tools that will help you get all of these top directories accurately published. Yext is one that we're a partner of, and we're able to put it in a dashboard, put all this great information in one dashboard, and then Yext has an agreement with all these directories where they get to, they don't have to claim the listings or anything. It's like a blanket. They overwrite all of these directories. They'll also do duplicate suppression. So if they find out that there's 3 listings on Judy's book, a little alert's going to come up and it's going to say, which one's the real listing. You mark which one's the real one, and it'll take those duplicates and redirect them to the right one. So using a tool like Yext or even Moz Local is a great way to take all this information, put it in a dashboard, and rest assured that your information is accurately listed across the top directories. And in turn, you get better Google rankings because your information is consistent, formatted, and published across all these directories. Moz Local is a less expensive tool, and it focuses on the aggregators. So it doesn't actually publish on all the directories. What it'll do is hit the main aggregators, and then we wait for the aggregators to push out to the rest of the directories. Yext is a little bit better. It's more expensive, but it just flat out covers all the directories. And so we like that tool just to have it done and have it done quickly. Moz takes a little while. There's also a tool if you're doing citations. So beyond these top 70 directories, there's a ton more areas out there on the web where your website might be cited. Oftentimes we call that citations, where your name, address, phone number might be listed on another directory, or somebody else mentioned you and said, hey, the best place to get this service is, and they cite your business. You don't know that even exists out there. Maybe they accidentally put your wrong phone number or they formatted your address differently. You can use the Nap Hunter Chrome extension, and it's really cool. You put in your name, address, phone number, and it'll just go search the Google index for all websites out there who have your business information listed on their site. You download that Excel spreadsheet, and then you can go work those listings and go clean them up. And oftentimes what will happen is when a business moves, this is where they often go, well, we removed our business, and it's a lot of work to move our business, lots of things changing, and then they tell their admin, hey, make sure to go update our Google and Facebook. Oh yeah, don't forget about our Yelp. So they cover maybe 3-4 listings that they can think of off the top of their head, and they have no idea that there's this whole local ecosystem. And what will happen is we have a tool on our website where you can actually put in your business information, and it'll generate a report of the top 70 directories and show you all the errors that's going on. And so here's a business that just recently moved here in Reading, and it's just riddled with their old address. And that could take months to try to clean that up manually, and then with the local ecosystem, it's virtually impossible. So this company is definitely going to want to get on a service like Yext or Moz Local, update their address in Google My Business, and have this EX license clean all this up so that their customers aren't walking down with their rent checks to the wrong location over and over, or trying to put in rental applications or whatever it might be. They don't want to lose business because their customers are frustrated with old addresses. And oftentimes the customers will say, well, your address is wrong online. And they're like, well, where is it wrong online? I don't know, I searched and you have the wrong address out there. So the customers aren't very helpful. They're like, well, I was looking at Yelp, or I was looking at White Pages. And so while you think you've covered the directories that you think that are important out there, customers are finding your business out on several different directories, and you want to make sure that stuff's clean and accurate. Another thing to consider is your website. You have your website, you built it, it's beautiful. You might list your phone number and contact information up in the header, or maybe you have a little map on your website that says, hey, we're servicing this area, or maybe it's in the footer where you have more contact information. You want to follow these same standards, and anytime you write a blog or build a web page or a website, you want to make sure you have that same formatting that's listed on your own website, because it too is a citation of your name, address, phone number. And so that pretty much sums up business listing management. If you do this well and you hop on one of these listing services that can overwrite those and make sure it's accurate, your Google local listing will get much better rankings, and your customers will be happy because they'll be going to the right location. Thank you, and that's this week's Whiteboard Wednesday.